Welcome back to the Sports Rock Show.
Sport Rock.
Now we're going to get into a subject that's near and dear to our hearts. The Cleveland Browns have hired
Rob Chudzinski,
head coach from Carolina Panthers. Spent the last couple years there as their offensive coordinator. Had a couple stints with the Browns. Back in 07, 08, he was their offensive coordinator. Turned Derek Anderson into a Pro Bowler. Led Kellen Winslow and Braylon Edwards to monster career years that they have yet to do since and didn't do before. So, what do we think, first of all, about Rob Chudzinski? Doug?
Well, I like the fact that he's a fan. That he grew up a Browns fan, or that's a nice bonus. I think their first guy was probably Chip Kelly. I think that's the first guy they wanted, and when those didn't work out, I think they were always looking for an offensive coach. Chudzinski's been here before. He knows what it's like here, not as a head coach. That's going to be a different thing. Bringing Norv Turner in.
Yes, Norv Turner has officially been announced as the offensive coordinator.
Awesome.
As
awesome
the offensive coordinator, I think will help.
Uh-huh.
He does not have a defensive coordinator yet. Won't be Dick Geron.
James Adie will be there tomorrow.
But, I probably wouldn't be too excited about any guy they got. I mean, Chip Kelly would have been interesting. I'm not saying he would have been a good coach. I'm just saying it would have been interesting having him. But, hey, Judd gets it. We'll see what happens. I mean, I would have just hired him over. They wanted to go offensive, so that takes out Lovie Smith and some of these other guys, any defensive coordinators. They're looking for an offensive coach. They went for the most offensive coach they think they could have gotten.
Yeah,
which would have been Chip Kelly.
He shafted him.
They interviewed some other guys, and they liked Chudzinski. Kevin Wisenhunt had 2 interviews. Matter of fact, Ken Wisenhunt was interviewed the day they hired Chudzinski.
Yeah, like a couple hours before.
Yeah, he was interviewed in the morning for the second time, and then after that interview, they called Chud and said they'd fly down to Charlotte for dinner, and over dinner, they offered him the job. So I mean,
I gotta believe one thing. As weird as this whole situation is with the coaching and all that, didn't get who everyone thought would be the sexy coach. Myself personally, I didn't want the sexy coach. I wanted somebody I thought would do the job with people around him. Well,
you didn't want the sexy coach? That would have been Chip. It would have been.
Exactly. But I didn't really want him anyway. So when he backed out, I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Good. Makes him look kind of bad anyway, and I think Oregon felt the same way because I don't think he was going back to Oregon. I think once he opted this time to interview, he was done there. So he ends up going elsewhere. I don't have a problem with Chudzinski. Head coaching experience, no. In NFL, yeah. Been around the Browns before, not in our recent years, no. But yes.
Well, I would consider,
not a bad hire, I don't think.
4 years ago recent, I mean.
Well, we'll see. I think he was at Carolina, and at the his press conference, somebody asked Jimmy Haslam about Chudzinski. I'm not exactly sure what the question was, but Jimmy Haslam said the last 2 years, the Browns have scored 48 touchdowns.
Yep.
In the last 2 years, the Carolina Panthers have scored like 88 touchdowns. That's 40 touchdowns more.
More, yes.
If you took 20 touchdowns or 40 touchdowns and split it over the last 2 seasons of the Browns, they would have been in the playoffs and possibly in the Super Bowl.
And I would argue this.
And build a defense like they're building.
Yeah.
I would argue you lose 5 or 6 games a year by a touchdown or less, and you scored 20 more over the course of the year.
And I would say this. I don't believe the Carolina Panthers have more talent than the Browns do, to be honest.
They have Cam Newton.
They do, and that's a pretty big deal, but...
We have more than Cam Newton, dude. We got
a running game.
So do they.
We've got Hardesty.
They've got Stewart and Williams.
That's true.
That's as good as T. Rich.
Well, they got
receiver combined.
What's their best receiver, Smith?
Yeah, and he's tough.
Yeah, he is, but he's getting
good.
up there.
Yeah, and they have Brandon LaFell, who's probably every bit as good as
LaFell's
as
good.
little or maybe even great.
Yeah,
That's
LaFell's
He's pretty
good. I agree with you there.
They
I do
have pretty
agree.
solid tight
Absolutely.
end in Greg Olson. So I mean, they
For agent, by the way.
Greg Olson.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I
There's gonna
believe
be-
coming
there's
to
some-
Cleveland might be nice.
There's some big
Really.
free
He'd
agents
help
out
Whedon
there.
out a lot.
You're going to have Greg Jennings, Wes Welker, Mike Wallace. I think Greg Olson's a free agent. There's another pretty big name tight end out there that's going to be a free agent.
Won't be wrong.
I can't think of his name at the moment.
No, you don't.
But there's going to be some opportunities out there for the Browns to pick up some more
Jermichael
weapons
Finley?
for Whedon.
How about going after Derek Bowe as your veteran
Dwayne
receiver?
Bowe?
Or Dwayne Bowe.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I
Dwayne
think-
Bowe.
I
as your
think-
veteran receiver to bring in, help these young guys out.
I think going back to
I would go to
Chudzinski,
Greg Jennings for that.
I think there were a couple.
You don't think Bowe could help on both ways? First of all, he'll help as a receiver, but
Bowe would
I
help
think
as
he
a
would help.
receiver.
You don't think he'd help coach?
I don't think he would mentor them like Greg Jennings would.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. I'll give you
Okay,
that.
let's-
That's
And,
important.
and Greg Jennings,
Important.
Mike Wallace ain't going to mentor him either.
No, he's
No,
not.
that's true.
He
He's
was
out
Wes
for
Welker,
himself.
really.
So
think
I'll give you that.
Going back to Chudzinski, I think there were a couple things that wowed Jimmy Haslam. And like I said before, I think that Chudzinski was a Haslam choice, not a Banner choice. I think one of the big things that wowed Haslam is the fact that Chudzinski came in there. First of all, he said he could deliver Norv Turner, and he did. I think that was very appealing
Yes.
to the Browns brass. Another thing I think was important is he went in there and said, you don't need to go get another quarterback. I can win with Brandon Whedon.
I believe
And I
that
think
too.
that appealed
I believe
to
that.
Haslam
I do believe
very
that.
much, and Banner as well. I think he went into, because really, you look at Whedon.
I believe it. I believe he did do
Whedon
that.
is a lot like Anderson, only in my opinion more talented.
Oh, yes.
And look what he did with Anderson. I mean, I think that there's a potential there for him to mold Whedon into a very good quarterback. I think he fits that
DA
system.
coming back?
I hear my sources say today, absolutely not. DA says he's coming back.
Yeah.
But
Everyone
from what
says,
I hear,
you ain't coming to Cleveland.
from what I hear, they like
No.
McCoy and Thaddeus Lewis much better than Anderson. No reason to bring him back. Other than the fact that Anderson might be able to somewhat mentor Whedon, but then again, do you want a pretty
He's
much
got his mentor.
failed quarterback mentor?
He's got his mentor. Norv Turner.
They're probably about the same age.
Yeah, Norv Turner's his mentor.
I actually think DA's younger. I think he's 28.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious about
Yeah,
that.
no, I believe you're absolutely right too, Chris. I think you're right. But I think Norv Turner is his mentor.
But I think
Whedon's mentor.
that
That's his
Chudzinski,
turn. That's his mentor.
being the fact that he, like Doug said earlier with Chip Kelly, they wanted somebody who wanted to coach the Browns. That's Rob Chudzinski. Rob Chudzinski bleeds orange and brown.
Chad will do it.
He's
Right or wrong, he'll do
He's
it.
a bright, young offensive mind. He's hasn't been a head coach in the NFL, but he's been a coordinator in the NFL, so he knows how.
He was assistant head coach.
Yeah, he knows how the NFL works. There's not, it's not a mystery with him. Can he handle it like there is with Kelly, or if they would have brought in another college coach that's never coached in the NFL?
No, Chud's got people around him doing
Yeah,
their job.
and I
man.
think
They're great people too.
I think bringing in Norv Turner was huge.
Big time.
Huge, because not
Big
only is
time.
Norv Turner a very successful and very well-respected offensive coordinator,
He's done pretty well as a head coach.
Right, not really. He's mediocre at best.
Well,
But much like Wisenhunt and McCoy in San Diego, Norv Turner will be there for Chudzinski to help him through some of the bumps along the road of being a head coach. So I think another key thing is who they're going to bring in as defensive coordinator. I heard a lot about Pagano. I'm surprised that evidently he's not coming.
I don't think the Chargers want to let him go.
Right.
They were supposed to.
Which
the
they
Browns
can-
were
they-
supposed to interview Raheem Morris,
Yeah, I heard his
the
name
ex-Tampa
today.
Bay head coach. He was Washington's secondary coach
Yeah.
this past year.
This name.
I don't have a problem with that hire either,
I'd
quite
like to
honestly.
see them
I
bring
really
in
don't.
as
I don't
defensive
have a problem.
coordinator, Butch Davis. Butch Davis was a very successful
But that
defensive
was kind of
coordinator.
like in the day. We're kind of looking to move forward to get a little bit
Butch
different.
Davis is still young, fairly. I bet he's in his
Yeah.
60s. Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think he-
Yeah. But,
Maybe.
But I kind of like what Doug brought up, too. It's like, yeah, this guy's pretty good. And
Butch Davis ain't coming back to Cleveland.
no,
No.
I doubt it.
No.
It'd be
But
like Art
But
Modell
Raheem
coming.
Morris is, I think
it'd be a good
4-3
call. 4-3.
I think he is.
I'd like to see that because 3-4 I love, but we've never been successful.
well, they
talked
don't
about
have the
playing a
personnel.
hybrid.
Well, Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because you can do that. You can do
Well,
that.
a lot of teams do that now.
Well, you got the talent that you got talent you can do that with, but not the talent to run one.
Fans of the Browns should not worry if they hire a coach that's a 4-3-3-4 kind of guy like Pagano, because Cleveland can do it. They can get the players to do it.
Yep.
It's not.
Not a huge
Not rocket
deal.
science, man.
No,
it's not rocket
like,
science.
well, no, we drafted all these defensive linemen. Now we can't use them because they're
bullshit.
It's like no, they'll be plenty used. You could play 4 down linemen on first down, second down you line up in a 3-4. I mean, you change it up.
I think personally that Jabal Sheard would thrive at an outside linebacker position. He's quick. He hits hard. I think Sheard could succeed there.
He would probably be one, other than the fact he's a pretty good passer. He's probably their best pass rusher.
Yeah.
Now if they can get another pass rusher,
he could be the guy in a 3-4.
Well, I don't think we want Manti Te'o anymore.
No. If he's in a 3-4,
but Jarvis Jones is going to probably be there.
We don't want him either.
If we're in a 3-4, I would play Sheard on the outside.
Let's get into
I would play him.
Who do you want
outside.
at number 6?
Well, I told a couple of people, and it's not a sexy pick by any stretch, and I could change my mind. But as of this point, I would draft Chance Warmack, a guard from Alabama.
What about D. Milner?
And I know most people would say why you can't draft a guard that high.
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah, you can.
Why not?
I'll tell you what, I'd be okay with
this
that.
guy. From what I've watched of him, this guy is probably one of the best offensive linemen I've ever seen play in the last 15, 20 years.
What about D. Milner?
I would probably be picking a guy from Alabama as my first pick, whether it's
right, D. Milner or Chance Warmack.
It'd be nice to trade down and pick up that at least another 3rd round pick. I don't know if you can get another 2nd round pick. If you can find somebody to fall in love with, Geno Smith or something. Or,
I think he's going number 1.
Well, it's possible.
Kansas City needs a quarterback bad, unless they go out and sign one, which is possible.
But
could go after Alex
a
Smith.
lot will depend on their defensive coordinator. They could go. I would have some interest if they were going to play a hybrid. I would have some interest in Kiki Mingo from LSU. He is a pass rusher. I worry a little bit about his frame. He's 6'4" or whatever, but he just looks thin. He looked like he'd have to add a little bit of weight, but he's fast off the ball. He can rush the passer. He's quick enough to play in coverage outside in a 3-4 now as an outside linebacker.
Well, here's where I'm coming from right there. He'd be a good pick, and I can tell you why. And I know exactly who you're talking about. I'd pick him, and I'd pick him kind of high too, but he wouldn't be just strictly a defensive lineman. He would be basically a hybrid linebacker.
Yeah, because he can.
I could bring him in tight if I wanted to.
He's quick enough.
And I could just drop him back too, because he's got the frame and the
I
speed.
can play in a 3-4 and he blitzes.
Personally,
so I'm saying he would be a good fit.
As much as I think we need another pass rusher, and we do.
We do.
There's not a lot out there in free agency as far as linebackers go. I personally feel that secondary is a bigger need. I think Milner would be a. Because when Joe Hayden's not in there, honestly, that secondary is pitiful.
I almost have to agree totally with that.
What if you signed a free agent corner?
I'd be interested in that, but I don't think there's any really big ones out there. Were you going to go after Revis or Nnamdi Asamoah?
No, I wouldn't go after Asamoah. Revis isn't available.
I
would have interest in Dominic
Cromartie. Yeah.
He's still young. I think he would be worth a look. I think there's a couple of other corners that you can get, and maybe not. Dominic Cromartie would probably be a big buck guy, but I think there's some.
I think there's some.
Well, that's true, and we have to spend it.
But one thing too, speaking of him, I think he's a guy that wouldn't just come to Cleveland. He'd come for the money for sure, but I think he would actually come here wanting to play for this team. I really do.
Well,
I kind of do. But I do. I feel if he comes to this team, because he can. This isn't his only choice.
You also need a safety. You need somebody opposite T.J. Ward.
I would throw a good boatload of cash at Deshaun Goldson of San Francisco.
Yeah, I've heard his name. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if the 49ers don't franchise him.
I
mean, now there's players that are available, but by free agency, how many of them are going to be franchised? Right. And the top ones probably will be. Goldson, I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't. Probably because top, safeties. I don't know what their top dollars are. Even if it's $8 or $9 million, he's probably worth it. Cleveland would be giving him big money. Anywhere he goes, he's going to get big money if he's available. But I would, if I was after Chance Warmack, I would try and acquire Andy Levitra, offensive lineman from Buffalo, who's about 27, 26 or 27, prime of his career, solid offensive lineman.
That would help.
He would play right guard. Chance Warmack would play left guard, and you'd have the best offensive line in the National Football League.
Because you got Joe Thomas.
You're already almost there, pretty much.
You'd have Mitchell Schwartz would be.
Our line is not bad right now, but that would be a big improvement.
I felt Mitchell Schwartz played well last year.
I think our line, but that would be a huge improvement. But
You
our
put a
line
solid
isn't
guard
bad.
to sign him in Levitra. You've got Mack at center. You bring in, if you would draft Chance Warmack, he would play on the left side beside Joe.
So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Be a dominating left side.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
For many, many years to come.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because
You're
Mack
sick.
is still young.
Thomas is still
well,
young. He's
Thomas is what?
fifth year.
He's 27 or 28.
Yeah. But
Yeah, but
he's
that's the mileage for an offensive lineman.
not really.
Left
Not
tackle
really.
will play till they're 35.
That's true.
Didn't Bruce Matthews play till he was in his 40s?
He might have. He moved around though. But a left
Yeah,
offensive lineman can play as long as they can stay healthy. And thank
Well,
God.
Ogden's played for a long time.
You know, Cleveland's offensive line played more snaps together than I think any offensive line in the NFL.
I know they were pretty.
Pigston was the only guy that got hurt and didn't
And he
play. The
wasn't
rest
hurt.
of the other four played every game.
He wasn't even hurt. He was just sick.
Well, here's the key
Yeah.
thing.
I mean,
Yeah, but
Yeah, he didn't get hurt. He was sick. You're right.
well, look, how many times was Whedon sacked this year? Total. 27?
but
I don't know the numbers, but
he held the
It
ball a
wasn't
lot
much.
sometimes.
yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of his. I mean, I don't think he had that many sacks.
Right. He's upright. for
But some of the
most part.
sacks were his fault.
Right.
By-
Yeah, I agree
by holding on to the
totally.
ball too long.
Exactly. I agree totally. I watched every
But we don't run the
game.
block as well as I'd like to see him. And
No.
I think with Levitra at one guard and Chance Warmack the other, you can run T. Rich right behind him.
Yeah.
Especially Warmack. He ran behind him in Alabama.
Well, see, here's the thing.
That guy's a road grader, man.
I believe, and I'm going on record in saying this, quietly next year the Cleveland Browns are going to be making a statement in the NFL. I'm not predicting Super Bowl,
You're not.
championship game. I'm just saying this, next year, the Browns may eat their way into something.
Well, you better see better play from the quarterback position, because that's where it'll start.
Well, I think, as all things go, first year's impressions, you have to judge as they are. Some were good, some weren't so good. But
Well, he had an up and down rookie year.
But
For
from
most
most,
rookies, that's what you would expect. Unfortunately, he's in a year where most of the rookies play pretty damn good.
He's gonna be 30 years old next year.
Yeah,
yeah,
but still,
That's
I mean,
all right.
that in itself doesn't
but
mean
if
that
he
much.
improves and he gets to the level of,
Ben
let's say Drew
Roethlisberger.
Brees. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't. I don't want to say. I want to set my expectations
Oh, and he
too
might
high
be
because
Aaron Rodgers. He's more of a
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Yeah, he's more of a step. Hey, you never know.
But
Maybe
if
that's
he
our Tom
continues
Brady.
to improve,
If he becomes a Joe Flacco, I'd be very happy.
you can get Joe Flacco. He's going to be a free agent.
Oh, they'll franchise him.
Yeah, I would definitely.
I mean, if he could become, I think Flacco's a pretty good quarterback. I don't think he's elite like a lot of people. Granted, he's made to the playoffs all 5
He
years.
wins.
And
That's all I can say. Is the
But
man
he's not.
wins.
But he's
No, he's
done
no
it with-
sexy. He's no sexy.
He does
He's
it
no
with
sexy.
a career quarterback rating, what, 82 or 83?
Yes, he's never gotten his team to the Super Bowl.
No.
No.
I think Flacco's a very solid quarterback. If Whedon can turn out to be like that, I think the Browns are going to have a lot of success. They don't need him to be a Tom Brady. They're going to be nice, but
You saw him for the Eli Manning,
yeah, I think I'd settle for that.
Phillip Rivers.
I hope he's better than Phillip Rivers. All right, that'll do it for this episode of the Sports Rock Show.
Rock.